All right, Adam, we alive. Thank you so much for taking out some time, my man.
Happy to be here.
All right, so let's jump right in about Hatchet, man. It's been like I mentioned, it's been about 14 years since you and I have last spoken, which is a long time.
Yes.
So, um, you know, looking back on the original Hatchet when you first created it to now, how does it feel to have like created this horror icon that has like a almost like a life of its own now?
It's crazy. I think the moment it actually started to feel like that was when the first two action figures came out. Because I think there's three now. And it was I think it was like 2020 when they came out, because it was definitely like during like the the worst of the pandemic.
Sure.
But going into a Target and then a Walmart and like seeing the action figures there next to like Freddy and Jason and Michael Myers, and then like Star Wars stuff to the right and Marvel stuff to the left. And because it wasn't like a custom made action figure, it wasn't something you have to order online. Like it was in major retail stores everywhere. And as a like lifelong toy collector and a horror fan, for me that was like getting a like an Oscar nomination for horror. Like to have your guy become something worthy of that was just insane. And so I don't know, because I think when it's your thing, no matter what anybody says, all you can see is like, but this could have been better, and we needed to do this, and it didn't get a big enough release, or it didn't get that, and like, and then you go to conventions and people come up and they're like, Victor Crowley's my favorite of all the slashers. And then I'll argue with them and be like, no, no, man, Michael Myers is the best one. And here's why. And it's like, it took about, God, I guess like 15 years to finally just say thank you and accept the compliment. And then inside I can be like, but you're wrong. But still, I can at least outwardly accept the compliment.
I mean, that's crazy, man. Like you mentioned, like the action figure toy line. I have one literally on my wall right here, behind the poster, obviously. And there's been a comic book series. I mean, I guess give us a breakdown on like its fandom. Like, did you ever think that it would get this big, man, where you're, seeing like, not only just films, but it's showing up in comics and action figures. I mean, that's unbelievable.
I mean, when we made the first one, I had two parts, two and three in mind,
Right.
and I knew what I wanted to do with those. But I also had to look at it like this might be it. And if this is it, then this is it. And then to watch it grow, I think the one thing that the horror genre really has going for it is that there's new horror fans born every day. And whatever the movie is that first makes you fall in love with it, you get bit by this bug where now you need to see all of it, and you start going back and seeing maybe things that came out before you were born or that you just missed. So movies like this, they just keep getting bigger. So it's weird how something can go from like sort of cult status at first to then being alongside other stuff where, and it took me a while to accept that, but like to me, Evil Dead was always a huge movie. It wasn't when it came out. Even like Halloween, there was like what, one good review in like the Village Voice or something, and now it's in like AFI's top 100 films or something like that. So you just got to give it time. And I think the ones that are connecting with people for whatever that reason might be, they just keep finding a way into their hearts. And then there's other ones that'll come out and have like massive box office, and everyone's like, the one that I usually use as an example, and I'm not saying this to throw shade on the film whatsoever. That's not my thing. But like the remake to Prom Night, I think
Oh,
that one
jeez.
like opened huge. It was something like 40 or $50 million, and everyone was
Sure.
like, whoa. To this day, I've never seen someone wearing a prom night remake t-shirt at a convention or even heard anyone talk about it. Nothing against the movie. Again, you just don't know what's gonna what's gonna last and resonate and what isn't. And
Sure.
it's very cyclical. So uh I don't know. It's you just sort of have to make the best thing that you can make with the resources you have and put your heart into it and then just hope that it connects with people out there somehow.
That's amazing, man. Well, speaking of Hatchet, we do have the complete collection that just came out on a limited edition, like Blu-ray Steelbook, real nice. Let's talk about that release. I mean, were you involved with that, or how much? What can you give
Uh,
us?
It wasn't my idea. This was something that Dark Sky Films wanted to do with their new label, Dark Sky Selects.
Mhm.
As a avid collector, I mean, I'm always going to be a fan first, and I own so many complete sets of various things, and then another movie ends up coming out a few years later, and you're like, God damn it. So I don't like using that word because you never know.
Sure.
So with something like this that continues to get so popular, there's always a good chance that we will do another one. So I wasn't really all on board, but then when I heard what they were doing and knowing that like physical media is really in trouble right now,
Yeah.
I was just so excited that they're doing this, especially because there's so many Hatchet fans who just found it over the last 10 years and they watched it on streaming.
Right.
And depending on what streaming site you saw it on, a lot of times people saw censored versions of the movies and
Exactly.
they don't even know it because the sites don't tell you that it's censored. I think Amazon Prime finally changed it to say R-rated version, which
Sure.
means that's the MPAA's version of it.
Right.
But then you can like pay $1 or $2 to see the unrated one.
That's interesting.
So the fact that this is all the films collected as the unrated versions with all of the special features they originally came with, plus the bonus disc with 2 new hours of bonus stuff that no one's ever seen before. I made that stuff myself because
That's
I
awesome.
I know what I wanted to see, and so that's what I put on it. But one of them in the I guess you'd call it like a mini documentary of sorts. It's myself, producer Sarah Elbert, and the director of photography and producer Will Barrett. We just sat down and rolled camera and just started telling a lot of the stories that don't make it onto like a commentary or that you just don't say at first when a movie comes out because it's just
Sure.
all the stuff that went wrong.
Right. Of
I mean,
course.
we even get into like how much money we have each made off of this so far, which is shocking to most people when they learn how this shit really works.
Sure.
But some of the stories are so funny and it just turned out great. And then the other one, when the first film was being made, we had a website for it because a lot of people know the story that we made a mock trailer
Right.
and that was sort of how we raised the money. I know everybody tries to do that now, and I hope it works for people, but at least at the time, I doubt we were the first,
Right.
but it worked.
Right.
And so we had this website where you could watch that mock trailer. And then throughout the making of the first film, the cast and the crew, we were all just posting nightly journals about what we shot that night and how it's going. And everybody in the cast and crew had the option to post whatever they wanted. But then when we sold the film for distribution, the first thing Anchor Bay did was delete that whole site. It just poof, gone. So I assumed all of that stuff was gone. But my second film, Spiral, is getting a re-release in October with like a whole deluxe edition.
Oh yeah.
And so I went looking through all these old bins of things, trying to see what I might have for Spiral. And that's when I found I had actually thought to print out all of those journals. So I still had
Wow.
them all in a binder. So I had everybody who wrote one come in and read their journal in their own voice. And then Hatchet One was the only film I've ever made where we had a professional set photographer on set for the whole run of show, like every second of the making of it. Nowadays, because like the industry has changed so much, especially for indie stuff, the budgets are so challenging. I
Right.
mean, we thought when we made the first one, hopefully this is the least amount of resources we ever have. We had no idea what we were in for. But the photography, I hadn't even seen a lot of these pictures before because there were like thousands of high-res photos.
Holy
So
shit.
combined with the journals, it's like an hour long and you get to watch the making of the original film, like literally almost like minute by minute in everybody's own voices.
So
So
cool.
it's a really great bonus disc. And because sometimes they'll be like, now there's a bonus disc with radio spots that you didn't hear, or like
Sure.
fan review, like whatever. Like this is actually like something that is worth owning. And so I'm very happy about that.
Oh, that's amazing, man. So, um, like we mentioned real quick, you said that you don't want to put the word of the complete collection down because there could always be another one, but it's been 7 years now since Victor Crowley. Is there something that we could, hope for in the works? I know I don't expect a solid answer, but I gotta ask, otherwise, why am I here,
Tuesday on Hulu, Hatchet 5.
Get
Kidding,
that.
kidding, kidding, kidding. Um, no, the reason why this series has remained strong is we make them when we feel like we need to make them. Like we're
Sure.
so in love with it, we have to do it, and then we go do it. I never wanted this to become a factory where it's like, it's October, here's the new Hatchet movie.
Right,
We all
sure.
know what happens with that.
Yeah.
And the other reason why I feel like it's remained strong is the same key people come back for each one. And there's very few other franchises that have had that. I mean, when we did like the whole secret unveiling of Victor Crowley, all four full casts from all four films were there on that stage. Like,
That's
name
cool.
another franchise where that happens.
Yeah.
So I think had the last 4 years not been a wash, because it's funny when you're like, it's been 7 years. 4 of those years don't
Yeah,
count.
that's a half of those years bullshit. Yeah, no, I
Yeah.
feel you.
Everything I was working on, the pandemic killed. And then once things got back up and running, then the strikes killed it. Because you also have to remember these films are all union. These aren't like that indie. So like at least WGA and SAG, they're union, and I'm WGA and SAG. So nothing has happened for like 4 years now, and things are just starting to come back. So I have to do some other things, and then maybe we'll come back to it. But I'm never going to do it unless I absolutely feel like I have to, because I just like am not in love with it. And what makes me fall in love with it again, because each one you're wrecked at the end of these because they
I can
never
imagine.
give us enough resources, and you just start calling in favors, and people are working like literally for free sometimes because they just want to make it as good as possible. So we'll see. I know times have changed and we can probably get a bigger budget now because of the success. I get called by different companies all the time. Right before we did this, somebody called. So, so we'll see. But we never promised that we were going to do more. I just
Sure,
said,
sure.
I have ideas for more. We left it open for more. And who knows, maybe it won't be us. Maybe it won't happen for 20 years and then they'll remake
Happens.
it or
Yeah,
they'll do
yeah.
whatever. But that's my issue with calling it complete, because with a character like Victor Crowley, I don't think he'll ever fully be gone, you
Yeah.
know? So we'll see. But when it happens, it's going to be worth it for everybody.
Oh, it's beautiful, man. I love it. All right, Adam. Listen, man, I appreciate you taking out some time to chat with us. I'm gonna
I
get this
appreciate you
up.
talking about it. Thank you for spreading the word.
Hell yeah, man. I'll be getting the word up. I'll make sure it links to Dark Skies website so they could buy it. We'll hook it up, man. We'll make it good.
Awesome. Thank you so much.
All right, my man. Appreciate it.
All right.